Scoodly doodly doo, it's time for another Welch review.
Go.
Scoodly doodly doo doo.
Hey, Go ahead.
Why, hello there, everybody, and welcome to the Welch Review. I think what was the first thing we're talking about today? The Outsider?
Yeah, today we're talking about the Netflix original, The Outsider, that came out in 2018. It stars Jared Leto as Nick Lowell, Tadanobu Asano as Kiyoshi, Kaipei Shina as Orochi, Shioli Kutsuna as Miyu, Emil Hirsch as Paulie Bowers, Rory Cochran as Mr. Panetti, Kentez Asaka as Shizu, Min Tanaka as Akihiro, and Masaki Miura as Kentaro. And I apologize if I've butchered any of those names. And it was written by Andrew Baldwin and directed by Martin Zandvillet.
Yeah, dude, the name Kentaro reminds me of that TV show Hamtaro.
Yeah.
That show was awesome.
I'm surprised they haven't brought that back.
Yeah, dude, I loved Hamtaro.
You know, they brought Zoids back.
Some hamsters who go on adventures. It's a good time. Anyways, so The Outsiders, Jared Leto. Basically, the main plot is you got an ex-U.S. Army officer of some level. I think he was like a captain or something.
He was a captain. This is during World War II.
World War II. Well, just after World War II, right?
Yeah.
So he gets caught, and they don't release him after he's a POW, right? So he's just wasting away in this prison.
I think he went AWOL.
Oh, he went AWOL?
Remember, this comes in later play, but I'm pretty sure he went AWOL.
Okay.
And then he was caught, like you're saying.
Yeah, so anyways, he's in prison, and he saves this dude who is being hung, who turns out to be Yakuza. And that is, what is it?
Kiyoshi. But, that's some crazy stuff, because he's like, look, I need you to stab me so I can go to the infirmary, so then my brothers will come for me, and then I will make sure they come for you.
Yeah.
And it's just he takes some glass, and it's just, getting it ready, scratching it on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, it was really intense. But anyhow, keep going.
So, anyways, ultimately, Nick Lowell becomes part of this dude Kiyoshi's. It's not Kiyoshi's Yakuza family, but Kiyoshi's a high-ranking member, and Nick becomes part of that family, and he earns a reputation for being very brutal. And it's all about the interdynamics of his Yakuza family, how he kind of adopts this Yakuza lifestyle over his American one, and he kind of gives up on the American lifestyle, or his past life, and just the different trials and tribulations that come to bear.
There's some interesting other dynamics in it. There's also a love story between Nick and
Kiyoshi's sister
Miyu. There's definitely, as Nick is now the new guy, right, and he's a foreigner, right?
Yeah.
So they're you don't belong here. So some people within this Yakuza family don't feel even though he's helped them, and even though he has a reputation for being brutal and getting the job done, that he's still not worthy.
Yeah.
And they don't like that he's getting more attention from the boss than they are.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of other themes of betrayal and, brotherhood, and, the shifting dynamics of brotherhood and what that means. Specifically, what's his name? Is Orochi.
Yeah.
Orochi is a huge scumbag.
Yeah, massive schwans. Nobody likes him.
There's some things he does that we won't spoil for you, but from the jump, he's just against Nick being there, right? The other thing is, as Nick's there, right, we mentioned he went AWOL. Well, he, Sam was saying, he was a captain in the military, and then one of his old army buddies is still stationed in Japan, and catches him off guard and threatens him oh, hey, I'm going to tell him that you're there. So then that's another loose end he has to figure out. And then additionally, there's
before we move on, that really plays on that dynamic of him giving up.
Yeah.
Being, part of the military, or his past life. That's that's like the solid point where it's like, okay, there's no going back.
It's a firm decision.
I'm not an American anymore.
That whole trial is like the last nail of the coffin, which solidifies his choice.
Yeah. You keep going, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. And then while all this is going on, like the backdrop is there's like a power struggle between two rival Yakuza families.
Mm-hmm.
So you have everything we've just talked about plus this as the backdrop, and then like ultimately it becomes a revenge tale. And the ending is really cool, and like I gotta give it to the other warring family. Like the head of that family was pretty okay with the outcome of how things were. Right, so it's kind of like...
Of course he was.
But it was just like, yeah, okay, you know, like, cool, you did this thing. No skin off my back. But, like, in a sense, it is kind of like that, I don't want to say Scarface story, and I mean, and I am saying it, but I mean it just as it's like how he climbs to the top of this...
this mob family.
This mob family. Yeah. And, like, it kind of leaves you how the film ends... to make up your own mind, right?
Yeah, it's a cliffhanger.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's definitely room to follow Nick. Like, this could potentially be, like, a Godfather-esque, you know...
rise to power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, because this is the origin. This is part one. So it would be interesting to follow this. I don't think... Like, Jared Leto did a good job.
I don't think he did.
Well, to get on that, like...
We'll talk about it.
What I mean by... He didn't talk a lot. You know what I mean? Like, he maybe had no more than, like, I don't know, 30 lines?
Well, he just wasn't, on the subject of Jared Leto, I don't think that he was convincing as, well, for one, he's Jared Leto, he's a stick. You know what I mean? He's not a convincing, like, go in and, like, murder everybody kind of
But he's
character.
also a POW. Oh, he was in jail.
Yeah, he was, so?
Well, like, okay, he was in jail in a country that was just heavily affected negatively by war.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's gonna, like, be able to get beefy.
He could when he's out of the jail for months.
I see. Okay, I see.
So, you know, he's not an intimidating character. Again, he has, like, no talking lines. He doesn't really move the plot. The plot moves around him.
Right.
And it all kind of... is just how he reacts to what's going on. And most of the time I don't really feel like he moves... Like, so in most movies, events are happening around the characters, and it's about what the characters do during those events.
Yeah.
Right? This is more just like, Jared Leto is there, and basically doesn't affect anything at all until, like, the very end of the story, which we're not, again, going to talk about, but even... At that, it doesn't decisively change his family status, or his mob family status in the overall picture of their city. Right. So, realistically, Jared Leto is just doing what he's told the entire film, and not really making a lot of his own unique decisions, except for the one engagement that he has with
Orochi?
No, not with Orochi. With the private that had been.
Oh,
under.
right, Paulie.
Yeah,
Paulie
that's really the only time that he makes a big important decision.
Okay, well, all that's very true. I think like he definitely has like a grimaced look down, a look of trying to be tough down.
Yeah.
You know, there's he stares a lot. That's the short answer. He just stares, and has like, you know. The other upsides, he did very well, I thought, with Kiyoshi. I thought him and that character did well. Kiyoshi definitely stood out in this movie more to me than anyone else in the movie.
Yeah.
Tadanobu Asano did a really, really good job. I hope we see him in more things. I also really liked Miyu's character a lot. Right? She definitely, another comparison to, like, Scarface, but she reminded me of Tony's sister in some cases.
Yeah.
You know, like, he told her not to hang around here, doesn't want her mixed up with, like, what she's in, but ultimately she ends up with Nick.
Yeah, in a lot of ways I'd actually say that Kiyoshi is Tony.
Yeah.
And
Nick is Manolo.
Nick is Manolo, except less attractive, less charismatic, but probably more effective version of Manolo.
Because he's more focused.
Yeah. But that being said, I think what this movie has going for it is everybody around the main character is a strong actor. They are playing their role well. They are playing up who they're supposed to be, and the environments are very authentic. Everything looks very much like it would be a post-World War II era, and what they do well with the environment is that they always show that, like, Japan is in shambles.
Yeah.
You know, like, there are, like, literally anywhere the main character goes, and it's not because he's some, like, drop-dead gorgeous character. There's, like, women who are like, I will sell you my body.
Yeah.
I have no money. You know? So, it's not... They're not trying to sugarcoat how terrible of a state Japan was in at that time. And that's, I think, very authentic.
Mm. You know, it is. And you, from the jump, you know, right away you automatically see that Jared Leto doesn't belong. And I think that'll either work for people or it won't.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. They also, like, reference how to get a Gyarados in this film, and I thought that was pretty cool.
They do?
Yeah, remember the koi fish that swims up the waterfall becomes the dragon.
That is a Gyarados,
and, like,
isn't it?
that's just a cool mantra to live by. Yeah, I tell my students that, and they look at me and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. But it was really cool in the movie when they said it, and I digged it.
Yeah, overall, I would say it's an okay film. I don't think that Jared Leto is very good. I do think that the other actors in it played their parts well. I think that the plot was fine, except for all of the parts that included Jared Leto. And, yeah, very authentic looking film. I would watch it. I don't think that it's something that you'll watch more than once, though.
Well, I've watched it a couple times. I really enjoy it. I mean, I know Sam likes it too, but, like, gangsters rise to power. I'm a big fan of Japanese and Yakuza films.
I am too.
So it checks a lot of boxes. I actually really enjoyed Jared Leto. But like Sam said, definitely all the actors around him, they deserve a lot of credit for making him look good. But definitely check out The Outsider. It's worth a watch.
It's okay.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
It's okay.